Hello everybody! If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 551, The Shadows Beneath. Intermediate. The old house stood tall and ominous, its weathered wooden planks casting long shadows across the overgrown lawn. For years it had been abandoned, a forgotten relic of a bygone era, until the day Sarah and her family moved in. At first everything seemed normal. The house was a bit drafty, and the creaks and groans of the aged structure were unsettling. But Sarah tried to push her unease aside. She was determined to make this their new home, a fresh start for her and her young daughter, Emma. As the days passed, however, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone. Strange noises echoed through the hallways at night, and she often caught glimpses of dark shadows darting across the corners of her vision. Emma, too, seemed to sense something amiss, often waking in the middle of the night, terrified and unable to explain her fears. One evening, as Sarah was preparing dinner, she heard a loud thud from upstairs. Rushing to investigate, she found Emma's bedroom door ajar, the window wide open. Emma was nowhere to be seen. Panic gripped Sarah's heart as she searched the house, calling out her daughter's name. She soon discovered a trail of small footprints leading down to the basement, the door standing open, a cold, eerie silence filling the air. Steeling her nerves, Sarah descended the creaky wooden stairs, her heart pounding in her ears. The basement was dark, save for a faint glow emanating from the far corner. As she cautiously approached, she was met with a sight that would haunt her for the rest of her days. There, in the center of the room, stood Emma, her eyes vacant and her expression eerily calm. Surrounding her were the shadowy figures, their forms indistinct and unsettling. Sarah watched in horror as they seemed to sway and dance around her daughter, their movements hypnotic and unnatural. Overcome with terror, Sarah tried to call out, to reach for her child, but her voice caught in her throat. The shadows turned toward her, their presence suddenly palpable and menacing. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine as she realized that these were not ordinary shadows. They were entities, otherworldly beings that had somehow taken hold of her daughter. In that moment, Sarah knew she had to act. Summoning every ounce of courage, she charged forward, arms outstretched, determined to snatch Emma from the clutches of the shadows. But as she drew closer, the shadows seemed to swirl and grow, enveloping her in a suffocating darkness. The last thing Sarah remembered was the sound of Emma's voice, distant and haunting, whispering, "Mummy, they won't let me go." And then all was silent. Vocabulary notes. Ominous, adjective. Example, the old house stood tall and ominous, its weathered wooden planks casting long shadows across the overgrown lawn. Meaning, suggesting the presence of bad or threatening things to come, sinister or foreboding. Similar words, menacing, foreboding, threatening, grim, dire. Unsettling, adjective. Example, the creaks and groans of the aged structure were unsettling, but Sarah tried to push her unease aside. Meaning, causing a feeling of worry, nervousness, or discomfort. Similar words, disturbing, disquieting, disconcerting, upsetting, unnerving. Eerie adjective. Example, a cold, eerie silence filled the air. Meaning, strange and frightening in a mysterious way, inspiring a sense of fear or apprehension. Similar words, spooky, ghostly, supernatural, otherworldly, creepy. Palpable adjective. Example, the shadows turned toward her, their presence suddenly palpable and menacing. Meaning, capable of being felt or touched, tangible and immediate. Similar words, perceptible, discernible, appreciable, evident, manifest. Suffocating adjective. Example, the shadows seemed to swirl and grow, enveloping her in a suffocating darkness. Meaning, causing a feeling of being unable to breathe or get enough air, oppressive and overwhelming. Similar words, stifling, choking, smothering, asphyxiating, oppressive. Story written by Claude 3 Haiku AI. Image created by DALL-E 3 AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you.